Okay, this is crazy, and it's a video I never thought I'd have to make. Today, I'm gonna have to defend周深's English ability. Hey guys, so I've just finished watching a video called 极度犀利批评周深的一封来信, and in it raises a lot of fierce criticism of somebody that I'm familiar with, 周深, and it raises lots of different points. So I just wanted to give you my thoughts on those criticisms that were raised today. Now, the video is very long. It's, I think, over 30 minutes. But one of the major points it raises, amongst others, is 周深's English pronunciation. Now, as you know, my channel name is 英国杰克. I am from Britain and my native tongue is English. So I thought, if anybody can analyse the quality of 周深's English, it should be me. Also, with learning a foreign language, Mandarin, for over 8 years now, I'm very aware of the process and the journey it takes to learn a foreign language, some of the difficulties and some of the insecurities we might have and others might reflect onto us when we try and use a language that isn't our own. So the video also raised some other points of criticism, such as, do 周深's fans fake the emotion when they listen to his songs? Did a particular song that he sang called Vincent reflect the original folk style of the original singer? I already mentioned, but his English pronunciation, and finally, do people blindly follow him? So I hope that I can touch on these things today and give you my thoughts. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the criticism of 周深's English pronunciation. Let's take a look at what was said.
最后我要反驳你提倡周深多唱西洋老歌，因为如果无法把西方经典老歌掌握好，我还是建议不要唱，免得毁了一首经典金曲。
So I think what strikes me most about this is 我还是建议不要唱, the suggestion that if you can't grasp something in its perfect form, then you shouldn't do it. And I just want to say this is absolutely ridiculous. I've watched many of 周深's performances and his English is absolutely fantastic. When you think of his background, the fact that he isn't a Brit, it's not me, his circumstances that he's a Chinese person that didn't grow up particularly focusing on English, you know, he went to Ukraine to study dentistry. English is not his target professional language. Let me tell you, his pronunciation of words is fabulous. It's way, way and above the standard of what I, as a Brit, might expect. Now, is every syllable and every word absolutely perfectly pronounced in every single one of not only his English performances, but also his Japanese, his Russian, his Arabic, all the multitude of different languages that he speaks? Is it 100% correct? Well, that I can't say. That being said, do you know whose English pronunciation also isn't 100% perfect? The original singer, Don McLean. Let's I understand what you tried to say to me. I think if you listen to that very carefully, you can notice that he drops the D from the word understand. Understand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me. He doesn't say that. He says, now I understand. Which, if you want to be very particular, let's say Stan is a person. Now you are underneath Stan. What does it mean? But let me tell you, I'm not criticising Don McLean because there's so many reasons why he hasn't pronounced the end of that word. Because language is not this fixed, rigid thing that you can fully grasp. Everybody has their own particular twang, their own particular 口音, their own particular take. Furthermore, when you sing a song, it's really common to drop syllables off the end, or when you're speaking quickly. We all have our own intimate styles. So I think when you're analysing somebody's ability in language, you can't come at it with these firm ideas of it should be this way, it should be that way. Language ultimately, at its foundational level, is a tool that we use as humans to communicate to each other. We communicate information, we communicate emotion. And so to listen to the song that was raised in the criticism video, Vincent, is to think, is this person showing me the emotion of the song in the background of the song? And absolutely, yes, he is 100% doing that. So in this part alone, I don't think the criticism is accurate or fair. Now, I'll give you an example of, in reality, a great scenario where if you can't 掌握好 a song, then you shouldn't do it. That is not something you should do. And it's when I created the video and I helped Katie Sky, the British singer, who didn't know any Mandarin whatsoever, sing 大鱼, the song by 周深 in Mandarin. Now that, I can tell from the feedback, the comments, the likes, the views, was something that was thoroughly enjoyed by people across the world. It's an incredible piece of artwork. She really enjoyed doing it. It's connected her to a culture that she didn't really know too much about. And it's given her a chance to express herself, which is what we're all looking to do here, right? We're all on this world to express ourselves. That's why I'm making this video. It's just fun and it's just something we can all enjoy. If she'd have thought, oh, well, I can't speak a word of Mandarin. Oh, that's not true. She can say 大家好, because I taught her that. If she'd have thought my Mandarin isn't perfect, so I'm not going to sing this song, then that would have never happened, and that would have been a real tragedy. She can barely speak any Chinese at all, and yet she's still produced something so fantastic. So to have the mindset of expecting perfection before you release a song like this, I think is the wrong one. So I've been learning Mandarin for 8 years now, so I'm well aware of the difficulty and the struggle that it takes to pick up a new language. It's really challenging, it's really rewarding, but your progress, whether it may be upwards like that, there's always peaks and troughs, and there's days where you think it's fantastic and there's days where you think it's terrible. It's a real journey of insecurity, and often one of the things I think that challenges us emotionally when we're with, let's say I'm with some Chinese people, or you as a foreign English speaker might be with some Brits, there's a real wall in your mind of nerves and insecurity and anxiety about, is my language perfect? And let me tell you, I think this is what we need to critique and remove, because the more you become better at a language, the more you need to see it as a journey to communicate with other people. And nobody's listening out perfectly when they listen to a foreign singer sing an English song or a Japanese song. Is that pronunciation absolutely perfect? I mean, just then, did you hear I didn't even say the word pronunciation correctly? Nobody is that critical. So to summarize, is Zhou Shun's English very, very good? Is it exceptionally impressive? Given his background, given his circumstance, he's not grown up in the West, given the fact that he sings a multitude of songs in different languages, yes, it's hugely impressive. Nobody is smacking the horse's arse, which we wouldn't say in English. Pai ma pi, what would we say? We would say like blowing steam up their arse or something. Nobody's doing that when they say that he's a lingual genius. He is. Show me a comparable artist that's able to sing in multitudes of different languages better than him. And if they have, then perhaps they've been to international school when they were younger, perhaps they're mixed race, perhaps there's lots of different circumstances for why that might be. But ultimately, when you look at Zhou Shun and you think about, is his English ability level extremely impressive? Yes, it is. And from my own language learning background, the best way to improve your communication skills is to communicate. So if you're of the mindset when you're speaking a foreign tongue of like, this needs to be perfect, otherwise I won't pronounce it, don't be like that. Just get yourself out there, get talking with people, and you'll improve through making mistakes. So I would even contend that you don't want to have a mindset where you look for perfection. It will limit you. So I've talked quite a lot there about Zhou Shun's English ability and my thoughts on that. Another comment that came up was the letter that was critical of Zhou Shun was also critical of his fans, in that he talked about some fans say that they cry when they listen to Zhou Shun, and was this just a fake display of emotion, that they were just saying that because they wanted to support Zhou Shun? Well, again, I've got personal experience, a bit like the Katie Sky. My mum started crying during one performance of Zhou Shun. Okay.
No. It was really good.
Yeah. Right then, Mum. I don't know whether that meant that you liked it or you didn't like it because you started crying in the middle of it. I didn't expect you to start crying.
No, neither did I. I really liked it. It was so well done, and it really touched me because, as I said, my granddad, every week when we saw him, he would have made me a new kite.
it had reminded her of a time with her grandfather, and I was sat next to her, so I know that that is genuine. I know that was real. She doesn't normally cry during videos, and it was because it had reminded her of that time. And art often has the ability to do that. So I would say, again, I don't think it's necessary to doubt people that they're expressing emotion through crying to one of his performances. I think people, the level at which you cry or not, and you allow that to come out of you, is different for different people. So it might just be the case that the person who said that doesn't cry very often. Maybe he or she expresses their emotion in different ways, but I certainly think it's accurate to say people may have that reaction. And then finally, there was just a criticism that it wasn't anything like the folk origins of the original song.
你真认为周深有把这首歌的民谣感觉唱出来吗？
Now, this is something that I think is silly. Again, probably when Don McLean first made that song, there would have been people saying, oh, you've taken an old style and made it new, and it's not very good, it's not as good as what it was before. Culture of humanity all has been inspired from the past. Everything that is emitted today is a revolution or an evolution or a transformation of a piece of culture that came before, and we all just add our own transformational layer to it. We add to it, we build it. And so when people say, oh well, the first time I heard it I liked it more, that's really common. When you hear something and you get used to it, it's very difficult to appreciate new things. But what you must realize is your original hearing of something will be based on something else. Don McLean will have heard songs when he was in his youth and used those rhythms and those melodies to make the original Starry Starry Sky. And as we move into a world where AI does more jobs, one of the most exciting things is that we're all coming together, playing video games, making videos, making music. We're just blending all these different cultural things to create new things. And I think if you have a rigid outlook of, oh, it sounds nothing similar to the original, it does a disservice. Well, Joshen's a Chinese person singing a song in a foreign tongue. It's absolutely welcome and for him to put his own spin on it. I don't expect it to be a complete and utter manifestation of the original one in its exact same style. So I've talked for quite a long time today. The video had a number of different points. Like I say, it was over 30 minutes. I couldn't go into everything that was raised on there. I think and I hope that this has been quite an objective response to it, just to say objectively, Joshen's English is very good. And also just my subjective opinions on my concept of the world. I think that people should be encouraged to speak languages without the expectation it's perfect. As a non-native learner, especially when you're an adult like myself, you can let anxiety and insecurity hold you back, and it never should do. The suggestion that unless you can master something and grip it firmly, then you shouldn't do it is wrong. It's completely wrong. And if you speak to anyone that is a master of anything, arts or sport or academics, they'll tell you they made hundreds of thousands of mistakes leading up to that point of perfection at the end. So I would ignore that as well. I would be confident if you're Chinese and you're learning English, go out and speak. I'm going to speak Mandarin as much as I want in my life, and I'm not going to let any insecurity hold me back. Yeah, granted, I won't be going on to Xinmen Lianbo and hosting that with my pitch perfect Mandarin. But 99.9% of circumstances, I'm just gonna speak and just do whatever I want. So yeah, I hope you appreciated the video today. I wanted to come and defend Joshen's English ability. As I'm somebody that's watched many of Joshen's performances, I thought that it was right for me to come out and say a few words about that. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you next time. 下次再见吧，拜拜。